Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about 1,000 Pound Sisters, Season 6, Episode 2.
Today was really a good episode. Or I should say last night or 2 days before, whenever I released this episode. It was really a really good episode. I liked it.
Yeah.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Blair, go walk us through this. Let's go.
So they are all going to see Dr. Smith.
Yeah.
This is Amy's first time seeing Dr. Smith. I think she had her surgery with Dr. Proctor. Tammy and Chris both have a goal of wanting to get skin removal.
Okay.
Tammy's mobility is limited because of her loose skin, and Amanda is hoping that Dr. Smith is going to consider that when talking to Tammy.
Okay.
So Tammy's walking into the office and Amanda is pushing her in a wheelchair, and Amanda was just like, I am shocked that Tammy is pushing me in a wheelchair after all these years.
Yeah, Amanda's being pushed in the wheelchair for once.
Yes.
And Tammy's doing the pushing. Okay.
Amanda is also shocked with how nice Tammy's being to her because they've got a lot of tension between them.
Okay. Nice.
So Dr. Smith, he's going, person by person in the room. He never saw Amy as a patient before. Amy talks about her goal being skin removal surgery. She weighs in today at 237. Her last weigh-in was 281. And Amy is satisfied with the amount of weight that she's lost. Amanda brings up how in the confessional, how Amy, all she talked about was wanting to be 150.
Yeah.
And she has more weight to lose.
Yeah.
Dr. Smith tells her that it's too soon for her to get the skin removal surgery. He wants her to get out of the morbid obesity category and tells her to start with losing 30 more pounds.
Listen, she knew she couldn't get that skin removal surgery. She knows that.
Yeah. So Misty was 240 at her heaviest, and now she weighs in at 166.4. She still wants to lose about 2 more pounds, but she's doing a great job.
About 10, you say?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Amanda started at 299. She now weighs 268. Dr. Smith wants her at 200 or just below. And she's talking about her plan moving forward is that she's going to focus on herself. She's going to stop worrying about other people.
Whoa, she was talking to the doctor, but about me. She said, I'm going to focus on myself. I ain't going to worry about family, worry about being there for everybody. Tammy, Amy, I'm going to be about me.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And Tammy catches the shade she was throwing.
Yeah.
So Chris has been around 300 pounds for the past year.
Yeah.
He now weighs in at 299.8. And Dr. Smith gives him the goal to continue try losing that 50 to 60 pounds to get that skin removal.
Yeah.
So Tammy was 735 at her heaviest, and currently she weighs in at 303.8.
Congrats.
So she has surpassed all of the goals for herself and that the doctor set for her. Tammy wants to get skin removal surgery, but Dr. Smith tells her that she probably has another 100 more pounds to go.
Yeah, and I thought that was normal. There's not a lot of 300-pound women walking around, Tammy. You were so heavy, and I understand that you see so much progression.
You've come a long way.
That you think that this is it. No, you were so in the negatives that now you just have to lose regular weight now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But look, we're happy for you though.
So they're all heading back home. Tammy is pretty upset by the denial of the skin removal surgery.
Yeah, she had a little attitude getting into the van a little bit.
Yeah, and Chris is just hoping that she's in a space to where she's not going to kind of spiral out of control because of this bad news.
Yeah.
So we're 1 week later. Amy has Tammy over to do some painting. Tammy has been feeling down since the visit with Dr. Smith, and she talks about how she did get depressed. She started overeating so she could throw up, but she stopped doing it, and now she's back on track.
Okay.
Tammy was bothered when Amanda blamed them for her lack of weight loss.
What are your thoughts on that? Just the whole, when they was in a confessional and things of that nature, talking about, look, she blaming me for this.
Yeah, I mean, I get where they're coming from. Basically, we're all responsible for our own weight loss.
Yeah.
And we all have to take responsibility for what we're doing. So I think that I can't be upset with him for being like, Amanda, we're not shoving food down your throat.
Yeah.
Come on, get real.
Yeah, I think it was Amy or one of them said she be eating a lot of snack cakes and stuff like that. She be snacking a lot.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't put it on me. And I'm just like, hey, listen here. When it comes to weight, it's a sensitive topic. And I don't know if I should say now or should I wait. I'm going to wait. Let it be a tease. Watch this whole video and I'm going to say what I'm going to say now in 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then you will see.
So Amanda's son has been helping her out since she still has a busted knee.
Yeah.
Chris comes by and he got her a little knitting project just to help her kick the boredom. Amanda says that Tammy's been out of pocket with her, and she's asking Chris, has she been that way with you? And Chris is like, no.
Yeah, you pick up on that? She's trying to recruit. She's trying to recruit her soldiers so they could go against Tammy.
Yeah.
So like he's like, oh, no, not really. And Chris would know because he drive everywhere.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And apparently, Tammy hasn't reached out to see how Amanda's doing.
Yeah.
Chris is like, well, you know how Tammy is. Like, you know, they also had issues their whole life. He's like, Amanda and Tammy have always butted heads.
Yeah.
But Amanda's hurt, so they kind of need to look out for her the way that she looks out for them.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem that Amanda has. Because whenever, listen here, people have this problem with Tamar. If y'all watch the Braxtons,
The baby.
Whenever somebody say whatever is Tammy's transgression, people brush it off and say, well, you know how Tammy is. And Amanda's like, no, we're not babying her no more. She can walk now. Like she could do things for herself. And one thing that she could do, she could fix her attitude. So I'm like, I'm in the middle. I see where Amanda's coming from. But at the same time, I'm like, it kind of feel like a blind slide in a way. It kind of feel like, Amanda, you kind of low, like you can talk this.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel some type of way, have attitude and like be yelling and things like that. But you know, let's continue.
So Amanda also says that Tammy's been talking mess about her boys. She was saying that the boys are lazy, that they don't help her out.
Yeah.
She wants the kids to run her around in all their cars, and they're like, she's like, Tammy need to drive her own self. Like people don't need to be waiting on her hand and foot. She can do a lot more now. So Tammy says that the boys always go over to her house, eat up all her food, break up all her stuff in the house, and the house also needs a lot of repairs. Well, Amy tells her, look, I hear you, but I'm Switzerland. I'm just trying to stay out the drama. Yeah, Amanda feels that Tammy owes her an apology.
What are your thoughts, if you have any?
My thoughts are, at this point in the episode, I didn't necessarily know what was true and what was not true.
Okay.
So I was feeling kind of like what Amanda was saying, as far as, yeah, Tammy can have a bad attitude, and yeah, Tammy can, be talking crazy to people. So I'm just like that. I've definitely seen it and I believe it. But Tammy's over here talking about people breaking up the stuff in the house, and I'm just like, no, this is a little bit much.
Yeah, come on now.
But my thoughts will come later.
Okay.
Tammy and Amy are now making a YouTube video. Amy has on some type of black pleather dress, and she's going to talk about styling her extensions. So after they record the video, Amy's talking about she want to go to a bar. She's kind of ready to date, starting to mix and mingling again. And Tammy says that Amy was a super hoe before Michael.
Okay. Thank you.
And I feel like if Amy's ready to get out there and start dating, I'm like, I'm with it,
Sure.
As long as she's, healthy and happy and she can kind of manage her emotions.
Exactly.
Like, why not? Enjoy life.
Why not? Let's keep going.
So we get to the scene where we see Tammy sweeping up glass.
Yeah.
Amanda's boys broke Tammy's window.
Her nephews. Wow.
Chris came over to help. So he's just kind of measuring things, taping up the window so that there's not a draft in the house. And Tammy's talking about how there's issues with the floor as well. And, it would be nice if the landlord could come over and fix the stuff. But Chris is over here helping me.
Amanda.
And Chris is like, well, that's why they say keep family and business separate. Tammy loves her nephews, but she's tired of them coming over and breaking stuff up. And Tammy's like, if things don't get better, like, she's going to move out of the house. Chris tries to tell her to tough it out, that she and Amanda are still sisters at the end of the day, and they could probably use a conversation.
Well, listen here, keep family and business away, because if I tell you what I think now, all of a sudden I hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
I didn't hurt your feelings as a tenant. I hurt your feelings as a brother. It's like, no. I'm talking about the floor. I'm stepping in the floor and I feel like I'm about to fall through it.
Yeah.
No. You, my brother, and I'm supposed to live in these conditions. My nephew, no. Your sons didn't break my window. My nephews broke the window. Like that's how lines can get blurred. And at the end of the day, like, don't make me file something against you.
Exactly.
Like, it's just wild. But let's continue.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's wild that the boys are over there, like, literally breaking up her stuff, and we got the proof on camera. I'm just like, yeah, Amanda, like, you need to get them together.
Yeah.
Because Tammy shouldn't have to live this way. And I can get where Amanda's coming from. Like, we've done so much for Tammy. She could have more grace, more understanding. She could give us a break because we had to deal with so much with Tammy. But I mean, honestly, y'all didn't really have to. It's nice that y'all did. But Tammy doesn't have to live in a house to where she getting her windows broken out.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of crazy.
I'm thinking she got robbed again. Nope, just her nephews.
So everyone is at Amanda's house. Chris ends up getting everybody a gym membership, so that way they can be accountable and can't use that as an excuse for why they're not getting their exercise. Amanda asks about making it into like a friendly competition, and Amy says no. Like, she wants to go at her own pace. Like, she doesn't want to for it to be a competition. And Amanda is like, well, doing it our own ways like haven't really helped us with reaching our goals. And Missy asks Amy, do you think you don't want it to be a competition because you don't want to be held accountable? And Amy is trying to explain to her, like, that's not what it is. It's just that basically I'm getting back into this by myself. Like, I'm still going to work out with y'all. It's not an excuse for me not to work out, but I just don't want the pressure of a competition on me.
Now, stop right here, right? I would think that, hey, you don't want to make it a competition? We don't have to discuss this. Why are you convincing me to compete? Y'all can compete.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So all this time, Amy is speaking, I would even say yelling. She's speaking passionately, but she's defending her stance. She's not on the offense. So what's about to happen is not her on the offense. It's her on the defense because everyone keeps talking about the issue.
Right.
Even to the point where Tammy tried to get a word in, Amanda cuts her off, basically trying to say, like, basically talking to Amy, why don't you want to make it a competition and things like that? And she's basically like, to Blair's point, look, like, if I lose a pound, I just lose a pound. I don't want to go against my family. Like, I want to, like, go at my own pace. But go ahead, continue.
So Amanda tells Amy that she's hollering in her ear, and Amy is like, I'm just gonna walk away. And that's what Amy needed to do, because last time she got into it with Amanda, she was fighting. So Tammy sees where Amy's coming from, but then she's like, Amanda, why are you looking at me like that? Why you give me that face? And Amanda was just like, you don't need to be disrespectful in my house. I wouldn't be disrespectful in your house, and all this type of stuff. And Amanda feels like she doesn't like Tammy's attitude.
Yeah.
And so Tammy's just like, you know what? I'm out. I'm going to. And Amanda was like, you can pack up your house too. Basically evicting her. And Tammy ends up, yelling while she's leaving the house, well, you spread your legs to everybody anyway. And Amanda's like, I'm divorced.
I can do that. Okay.
So everybody ends up leaving. Brittany, she's stuck on the couch, and Amanda's over there venting to Brittany.
Yeah.
Like Brittany going to do something.
Yeah. And even then, Tammy couldn't go nowhere but in the car.
Yeah.
Because she can't drive.
Right.
What is your thoughts?
My thoughts, I get Amanda's frustration.
Yeah.
And the fact that she does so much for her family and loves her family so much. I mean, she allowed Tammy to move into that house, and really just setting her family up to be successful.
Yeah.
And she's feeling vulnerable and probably feeling like weak and alone. And she doesn't feel like everybody is rallying around her the way she does for them. Because she really does rally for her family. But at the same time, like, I think that she is overreacting. I feel like if you really feel this way, like, I think you could have a conversation and just to be like, you guys, I'm feeling a lot more vulnerable, and I feel like I need a little bit more support from y'all.
Yeah.
And kind of putting it that way. But she's just reacting and lashing out instead of talking to her siblings.
Yeah.
And I also feel like, as sucky as it sounds, like, I know younger siblings are still adults, but a lot of them are just not used to being in the role of being a caretaker. And I don't think it's fair to look at Tammy like, oh, Tammy's getting her life together, so now she needs to show up in this way. She's never had to be that way her whole life. So what makes you think that Tammy would be somebody who comes by? She can't come by, but who'll call and check and do all these types of things. Tammy's mind has always been on Tammy. And she's probably better at moving and doing different things, but her mindset hasn't changed. It hasn't had to. So I think that they got to understand where each other's coming from a little bit more.
I was with you until the end. I was right behind, riding the horse with you until you said that last statement, and I'm like, yeah, I'm off. I think, dude, you know what's funny? We only started reviewing this show last season, but you've been watching it from basically
the beginning.
You know the whole thing, so you can guide me through. Was Tammy a nasty person?
Yeah,
like nasty to the point. She referenced that in this episode, saying like, y'all go get that old Tammy back. So whenever you hear something across the lines of, I understand Amanda did so much for Tammy. No. Let's not just skate past that, because so much we can't quantify it.
Yeah.
But if I was to quantify it, I did 217 things for you.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Now I'm an a-hole if I quantify things, and I think we just skate over of. We did so much. We drove you everywhere. We had to save your life a couple times. We even had to house you a couple times. We had to come over, clean your house a couple times. Had to clean you a couple times. Like our life was on pause because not only to help you lose weight, because you wasn't focused on losing weight, we had to keep you alive for you to eventually get this mindset and things like that. If it wasn't for us, Tammy, you wouldn't even be here. Let's just keep it real. You'd be literally in your own ish. You get what I'm saying? So I think Amanda feels resentment. And I think the happiness that she may have for Tammy is fueled by resentment. Now that you can walk, now that you're able, now that you're better physically, you should be better mentally. Okay, you can't drive, you pick up a phone. You can't pick up a phone. I can understand Tammy of season 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and things like that, to where like you basically, we gotta keep you alive. But like this Tammy, you doing all these things, doing all these, you done got married. You get what I'm saying? Sunflower. And now whenever I'm over here saying that, hey, what about me? Think about me for once. Blair over here talking about, well, Tammy never had to think about nobody else. Why should she?
I'm not saying why should she. I'm saying be realistic. You know what I'm saying? But, just like you say, like, don't expect people to
understand that.
You know, what they have never been to you. I said there's room for improvement. Y'all could talk about it, but Tammy's not that person.
And I don't think she ever will be.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to her weight loss, we kind of forget the Tammy that she was, right? And I'm not over here saying like Tammy's like oh no, she's evil and things like that. But we seen more of the old Tammy than the new Tammy.
Yeah.
And I think Amanda, that's why I'm in the middle. I think the way Amanda's going about it is wrong 100%, right? Because even when Tammy was talking, you saw Amanda kind of like, I don't know how to do the girl thing, but you know how she like shifted her head and like kind of like crossed her arms and things like that. And that's the thing, like, why are you looking at me like that? Because it's coming out of her pores. She with Amy, and I said this last episode, Amy didn't want to get on the plane. At least Tammy got on that plane. Yeah. And her son had to drive them all the way down to Florida. And then her kids was acting up. It was Amanda who picked up the kid, to where she was instructed not to pick up anything heavy because she just had surgery.
Yeah.
So like Amanda's just thinking, I've done so much. And that's why I say, whenever you do something for people, quantify it. Have a little small book and like a little tally. So whenever somebody say, what have you done for me? Well, I'm happy you mentioned it. You know what I'm saying? I've done 116 things for you, and guess what? I've been counting your tallies. You're at 62. like
pick up the pace.
And I think Amanda just want to feel like, oh, okay, everybody's not in about to die mode. Okay, can we be sisters to where we actually like?
But that's the sad thing about reality. You can't expect you from you. You
fair.
Can't expect you from everybody else. You can't. And that is what messes up relationships.
Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. Your son broke my window and I'm getting kicked out. That's why I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah,
like, come on, stop it.
Yeah.
Your son vandalized my house, and then you talk about, well, pack your stuff too. Did you send your sons over there to break my window? You get, like now I have to question everything. Yeah. Anything else on this episode, Blue?
That's all I got.
Listen, I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment. We kept this one short for y'all because the other video we just did was an hour. Watch that video too. We will catch up with y'all next time. Y'all be good.
Bye.